Hey, what's up guys, OSG back with another 30 best games video, and it's actually one I haven't covered before. The Amiga CD32 was a system that many people associate with Commodore's demise, and it is true that it was the swan song from the company. But was it that bad that it bankrupted the company? I think that the company was already on the skids, and this system gets a bad rap, when ultimately the fault lied with bad management, which resulted in this system not being able to be released in the United States. Anyway, there were around 155 games including cover discs etc, and I've been playing them all. So Gareth Braint, who incidentally asked me to do this video ages ago, you can stop hounding me in the comments, because here we have what I would say are the 30 best Commodore Amiga CD32 games ever made in order of greatness. Kicking us off in 30th place we have Sabre Team. As you will see as we go through this list, most games are just enhanced versions of original Amiga games, and in Sabre Team we have just that. The sound and visuals are much improved, and this is a great turn-based strategy game, even if it is a bit short. Twenty-ninth place is taken by ATR, All Terrain Racing. This is the first of 3 racing games on the list, and the fact that it's in 29th place just shows what quality we are in for. As usual with Team 17, this game is polished to death, looks, sounds and plays great. PGA European Tour is in 28th position. Being a golfer, I loved the likes of Leaderboard on C64, but I can vividly remember playing PGA Tour on the original Amiga and never looking back. This CD32 version takes all that goodness to a whole new level, while still keeping the brilliant gameplay. Lovers of the genre really need to play this version. In 27th place we have Fire and Ice. This is the same super smooth platform game that we had on the Amiga, but with better graphics and music. If you like the original, you will like this version. If you didn't like it, then move on, because gameplay wise it's identical. In 26th place is taken by Legends. This was one of the last commercial Amiga games made, and it gave us what we had always envied from the days of the NES, an adventure game with the depth and scale of Zelda. The original AGA game was great, but this version goes one better with great CD quality sound. Arabian Nights is in 25th position. Top quality platform game here with great graphics and music. The one big thing that the CD32 version adds is the removal of the up jump function, which quite frankly was one of the things I hated about the original Amiga game. In 24th place we have Superfrog. Now I'm sure I've said this before, but Superfrog was never one of my favourite games. This is down to personal preference though, and nothing else, as far as platform games go they don't get much better than this. However, the only reason to play this version is again for the no up jump function, as everything else is the same, which is a shame. In 23rd place is taken by Roadkill. This is another top-down racer and a super slick fast one with brilliant sound effects. That's a good thing, as even on the CD32 it didn't have in-game music, but really the game is so intense you don't miss it. This version also has one of the best intros ever on the Amiga. Fury of the Furries is in 22nd position. This is a game you will either love or hate. For me it's a love, although it adds nothing new from the Amiga version. It's still a quality game to chill out and play, and let's face it, love it or hate it, it still looks and sounds great. In 21st place we have the Misadventures of Flink. This might be surprising to hear, but this is the only Psygnosis game on the list, and even more surprisingly it's only one of 3 games that were released for a CD32, along with Microsm, which was crap, and Brian the Lion, which probably could have made this list too. Anyway, we get Psygnosis at its beautiful best with this one. Oh. 20th place is taken by Disposable Hero. Now this is a game that I always wanted to like on the original Amiga, but it was just way too hard to enjoy. It seemed that nearly every enemy was like a mini boss needing multiple hits to kill. This one however, the difficulty has been dialed down, and the results are that this is now one of my favourite side-scrolling shoot 'em ups. The music is great and the graphics are awesome. Bubba and Stix is in 19th position. This is the CD32 version of a brilliant alternative platform game, and although graphically it's identical to the disc version, which really isn't a bad thing, you can now have in-game music and sound effects, which is something that wasn't available on the original Amiga, and it makes a big difference. In 18th place we have Super Stardust. I'm sure that we all know this asteroid type game on the Amiga and how good it was. Well, this version takes that high level just a notch higher with, for me, improved controls, but really this game is all about the music, which on the CD even excels what we got on the disc version. Seventeenth place is taken by Speedball 2 Brutal Deluxe. This is mid-table, and some people watching might be thinking this maybe should be higher because they love the game on the disc, but it's a game that you have to play. Yeah, it's still a great Speedball 2, but the changes to graphics and colours just seem a bit off to me, and really, if I had to play one, I would play the original disc version. Super Skidmarks is in 16th position. This is another game that doesn't really add anything to the original disc version, but as far as multiplayer games go, it's a must-have for the system. Yeah, playing it alone can become boring, but in a group, this is pure gold. In 15th place we have Alien Breed Tower Assault. This is a game that is marred by its difficulty, as it is hard as nails, but stick with it and it does become easier as you get better, I promise. But really this game is known for maybe the best intro ever on the Amiga, and this version has the full FMV intro, which is a super cheese fest but also super good. Fourteenth place is taken by Shadow Fighter. We saw this game on the recent Best Amiga Fighting Games video I did, and as I said there, this is one top class fighting game among few on the Amiga. The reason it's not higher is apart from the music there's no change, and that's where I have a problem. Why keep the one button control on the CD32? That's ridiculous. It still plays good though, but could have been better. Jetstrike is in 13th position. This game is a bit of an overlooked gem, to be honest, and never gets the love it deserves. It's a super smooth alternative multi-scrolling shooter with an absolutely awesome soundtrack. At first it's a bit hard to get to grips with, but once you do, you will be hooked, I promise. Twelfth place is taken by Worms. This is a slightly enhanced version of the great Worms game that we got on the Amiga. It has better music and some great animations. It is, however, not as good as the later released Amiga Director's Cut, but as that was never released on the CD32, this one is a must-have multiplayer game for the system. In 11th place we have Soccer Kid. So on a system littered with platformers, this was a platform game with a difference. I used to love Soccer Kid on the Amiga, and it's on my list of the best 75 Amiga games. For a change, the CD32 version actually did enhance the graphics and the music, but kept the same great gameplay that set this game apart from other platformers. Gunship 2000 is in 10th position. Micropros were masters of making a realistic game, and in Gunship 2000 we got by far the best helicopter sim on the system. The CD32 version offers the same great experience that we got from the disc game, with more colours and better sound, making it just that slightly bit more enjoyable to play. In 9th place we have Pinball Fantasies. This is the only pinball game on the list, but I could have had more as the Amiga was great when it came to this genre. Anyway, this for me is the best of the lot. So this game actually got 3 releases, the original, the AGA and the CD32. They were all great, but the AGA version didn't have a table select screen, which I think was a major letdown. The CD32 version does, so it has it all and is definitely the version to play. 8th place is taken by UFO Enemy Unknown. Okay, so this one isn't going to be for everyone, as it's a strategy game. It has great graphics and gameplay that just drags you in. This also had 3 versions. The original was still great but majorly slow. The AGA version actually suffered from slowness too without upgrades, but thankfully the CD32 version is awesome. For lovers of the strategy genre, this is a must-own game. The Chaos Engine is in 7th place. This is probably one of the best known Amiga games ever, and it's from the Bitmap brothers, who really knew how to make a game in all aspects. Whilst the upgraded colours might not be for everyone, there's one thing that sets this version apart, and that's the control and multi-button usage, which makes this the best version of the game to play for me when it comes to gameplay. In 6th place we have Beneath a Steel Sky. This is a point and click classic that, even though not quite as good as Monkey Island, was still fun to play. The CD32 version is truly the definitive version though, as it has great speech samples, and let's not forget that the disc version was a nightmare for disc changes, so it's a win for that for the CD32. Fifth place is taken by Cannon Fodder. The classic game that we all love came to the Amiga CD32 and offered, well, not much really. It has FMV video, and that's about it to be honest. So why is it here? Well, it's here because it's still a great game that we got on the Amiga, so it deserves to be on any list. Fightin Spirit is in 4th position. This is another game that was on my recent Amiga fighting games video, and this one actually topped that list. Again, this game could have been higher, but I find that the lack of difference from the original AGA version a bit of a letdown. That aside, for me this is the closest thing we ever got to an arcade fighter on the Amiga. Third place is taken by Banshee. I've made no secret that this is my favourite shoot 'em up on the Amiga. It's got everything that makes a shooter great. Brilliant responsive controls, loads of different enemies and backdrops. But one thing that makes this not top the list is that for some reason they didn't add one thing that was missing from the original: in-game music. With that, this would have topped this list. Second place is taken by the Lost Vikings. This is a great platform game that the CD32 didn't improve anything on other than mapping the controls of the CD32 controller, which turned a good platform game into a truly great platform game. If you haven't played the CD32 version, get a copy of it and fire it up. Everything is near perfect, as platform games are much better with controllers. And now, in first place we have Simon the Sorcerer. So when it comes to massive point and click adventures, it doesn't come much better than this. The graphics on this game are nothing short of stunning, and in the CD32 version we actually get dialogue, which for me was much better, as I'm not much of a reader and it always detracted from the game. Anyway, this is the definitive version of the game to play. It's just perfect.
Oh dear.
Okay, that's it for this video. It's been really fun checking out the full library on the CD32, and I will probably do a worse list on this system too, because believe me, there's some real crap on here, which I had to endure when making this. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite Amiga CD32 games were, and if you haven't already, please drop this video a like. Also, if you want to support me on Patreon like this quality crew going up the screen right now, get on over to my Patreon page. Till next time, Mrs. OSG, signing out.